make a turn, because you see the turn is the key ingredient in any good swing. If you don't turn, all you're going to do is use your arms and your hands to hit the ball, and you're not going to get any sort of power, and you're not going to get any sort of distance. So Kelly, there's a couple of things that I like to see senior golfers do, and that's to make an adjustment at address, which will allow them then to have a complete backswing. And that's really what we're on about here, having a complete backswing, because the more complete it is, the more speed that you generate. Now, let's show you what I'd like you to do. I want you to take your address position. Normally, we'll see with many golfers, they'll get their feet square with their target line, which is absolutely correct, and the ball will be forward. Now, what I'm going to suggest you do now is to put the ball back in your stance a little bit more, and to then pull this right foot back in what we call or term a closed stance. Now, you want to pull the right foot back a few inches, maybe about 6 inches. Keep the stance fairly narrow, and what this does, it allows the right side of the body, the hips and the shoulders, to get out of the way. In other words, if I can clear the right side of my body, it allows my arms to swing all the way to the top. See, in this position, when the right foot is forward or square, as you swing back, the hips fail to turn, and as a result, you cannot complete the backswing. So we can see here, Kelly, pulling the foot back. The key thought should be, as you start back, to turn your right hip pocket behind you. Okay, so you want to put your wallet in your right hip pocket and get all that money behind you, right? And then complete that backswing and relax that left arm. That's the other key. We see a lot of players who have a very straight left arm. They hear about keep the head still, the left arm straight, and it restricts their motion. So in actual fact, I'd rather see players pull the foot back, turn the right side out of the way, bend that left arm slightly, and even if the head moves a little bit, that's perfectly okay. And the other thing you can see here too, Kelly, is that my knee is pointing behind the ball, and as I turn, it'll probably mean my left heel will come slightly off the ground, which is fine if you lack flexibility. Say this sort of half swing, the foot stays on the ground, the foot's flat, and we are unable to make the backswing. So remember, try this. We want the foot back, we want to turn the right side out of the way, relax that left arm, and then I'm in a position where I can really generate some speed. Now, I'm going to tell you a little tip here. Grab your club upside down like this and learn to make a swooshing sound through here. If you don't have a complete backswing, there's really no swoosh, no club head speed. So this little exercise is great. You turn back, you swish through, and it's a great way to warm up. So let's give it a go, Kelly, because if we can get those players looking like this, they'll have no problem getting some distance, right?
Right. Okay.
Okay. Right, so foot back, ball back slightly, turn, my right hip pocket behind me, and let it go. Now, the reason I'm working on this, Kelly, is because in maybe 20, 30 years, I'm going to have to do this anyway.
That's right, that's right. Yeah, you could see there, your swing was much smoother and more complete. Man, that's really going to help out those senior players.
You're going to get a lot more distance if you can work on those thoughts. So just adjust your thinking just a little bit there, and you'll find that you're going to have more distance and a lot more fun.
Okay, David, those are some good thoughts for senior players, but how about juniors?
Well, the junior golfers obviously is a subject which is close to our hearts there, Kelly, because we have 3 youngsters, and it's fun getting them into the game at a young age. And I think at any age, if you can start them off correctly, you'd be amazed how they'll maintain these good habits for life. So I'm a big fan of trying to get young players into the game early. They're not necessarily going to turn into Tiger Woods, remember that. Just as long as they can go out and have fun and play with the family. It's a great family sport, so get them into the game young. Now, one of the things, Kelly, I think which is often overlooked is the equipment aspect. Many youngsters, they take a set of the clubs that their dad maybe have given them, and the fact is, unfortunately, they're too long, they're too heavy, and create all sorts of bad habits. I've seen many golfers whom I've taught who have habits dating back to when they were young and using equipment which didn't fit them. So, you know, whether you're a lady who needs a lighter, shorter club, or a senior golfer who needs a more flexible shaft, it doesn't really matter, because as you go on in this game, you'll see that you need to get equipment that's suited to you, especially juniors. Now, juniors, you can cut a club down, but unfortunately it just makes the shaft too stiff. So you want to find maybe a cheap half set of clubs for the youngster, something that's the right length for them, not too stiff, not too heavy, something they can swing easily.
Right, and very light.
Very light, that's key. Now, kids are great mimickers. You don't need to over-instruct them. I think probably when they get to about 8 or 9, you can take them for some formal lessons. But before that, if you just want to get them into the game, keep your thoughts and keys very, very simple. I know you yourselves might want to think of more detailed technical things, but kids, they don't respond well to that. It's important that they simply stand up there and are able to swing the club. Let them watch good golfers. Let them watch golf on TV. Take them to a golf tournament maybe, because if they can actually watch and learn, they'll pick it up very, very quickly. And now let's go through a couple of thoughts that we give our kids there, Kelly, just to get them going. Nothing detailed, very simple, but something maybe you can help your youngsters with and get them off to a good start.
Okay.
All right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, with the address position, it's not too dissimilar to what we've spoken about. Maybe their feet nice and narrow. Obviously, normally youngsters are shorter in build and probably slimmer in stature, but so nice, comfortable stance. The grip is something that you don't want to get too detailed on. I would suggest you just simply put one hand below the other to start with until they get comfortable with it. Give them a little feeling of power, because getting too technical with the grip, it's a bit difficult for them to get that right. So just put one hand below the other. That keeps it very easy. All right, now with the swing itself, Kelly, all we try to do, I think this is great advice. If you get the feeling that as you swing the club back, this is what I tell our kids, brush the grass going back and brush it through. So first of all, I can start off making little dinky swings, little mini swings, just brush back and through, Kelly, so they get the feeling of the club coming back and through along the ground. That's it. Right, now to complete that motion, all I would say to them is this, right, brush the grass and swing the club over your right shoulder, and then brush the grass as you follow through and swing the club over your left shoulder. Right, now make sure you brush it now. Brush it going back, right shoulder, and hold the finish. And this is a good thing. Really get them into a nice balanced finish position. Tell them you're going to take a picture of them, put it on the cover of a magazine. So there we go, right. So brush, brush, hold the finish. Let's see here, Kelly. Good. All right, why don't you hit a shot or two? You'll be amazed at what rhythm they'll start to develop. They won't try to hit it. They won't have all these preconceived ideas about the swing. And as soon as they get the ball airborne, they really get excited. Remember, give them easy clubs to hit. You want to get them maybe a fairway wood to start with, maybe a 3-wood or a 4-wood or even a 5-wood, just to help them to get the ball airborne. Well, that looks like a swing of a promising junior there, Kelly.
Thanks, David. You may want to tee up the ball for the junior player. I know it makes it much easier to hit the ball higher, and that will give them much more confidence.
Right, it's nice for them to see the ball getting up in the air. Right, now to summarize with juniors, really it's just a case, get some equipment that fits them, keep the swing thoughts simple, brush and brush over the right shoulder, over the left shoulder, hold the finish, things like that, make it really easy. Plus, get them working on their chipping and putting, their short game, because if they can develop a good short game at a young age, they'll have it for life. And a good short game is what all this game's about.
True, that is very, very true.
Above all else though, let them have fun. Don't force them or pressurize them. Say, let them compete with youngsters of similar ages, get them into tournaments if they want to, and maybe get some formal instruction when they're about 8 or 9, something like that. But above all else, remember it's a game for a lifetime, so let them have a lot of fun doing it.
That's right.
Kelly, well, I think that's it. I think we've covered just about everything that I can think of. Remember, you're never going to stop learning in this game. This is just a start. Those golfers that are getting into it, those golfers that have got a few problems, you're going to get a lot out of this tape. Watch it and re-watch it, but I'm sure you're going to learn a tremendous amount. I hope you out there really enjoy it, and it really gets you started in this game. For those of you who have slight problems with your game, I'm sure you're going to learn a lot. Remember, you're going to learn more and more as you go on. But this is a great start. I hope you really enjoy watching the tape. Watch it often, and see you on the links.
Good luck.